Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress. This is the 26th of August. I'm going to do a little talk about the number 26 as described in Linda Goodman's Star Signs book. Look at that cover. It's a very good book that has a lot of interesting information in it, but my favorite chapter is the numerology chapter. I don't know if you've watched any of my other number videos, but if they all kind of relate to each other, and very soon I will do a how-to come up with your compound number and your single number so you can see what number will be the best for you in choosing a name for, say, your business, or choosing a birth date for your business. Now, as far as your personal name and birth date goes, you might not be able to change your name, but you can always, what I've done, mine wasn't so positive, so what I did was I every time I write my name, I always add my middle initial, and that helps influence my name number. But my birth number, there's nothing I can do about it. I'll get into the teens next month and I'll explain. 26 is not one of my favorite numbers, but it's called partnerships, and I think that's very appropriate since I talk a lot about partnerships. But partnerships is slightly different than unions, like a twin flame union. Even a soulmate union is more of two becoming one, so it's not so much of a partnership. It's a whole. Partnerships are two very different individuals working together, compromising, or most marriages are like that. Two individuals working together, compromising, making it work, and a lot of times works out great and there's no problems. You have a wonderful partnership. Sometimes a partnership is even stronger and better than the spiritual connection you have with that person, and you don't want to give up that partnership because it runs very well, it works very well for you. So there's nothing wrong with that. But if you were born on the 26th, partnerships might be troublesome for you. So let me read this. But before I do, I'm going to say today is also full moon in Pisces. There is a grand earth trine also. And in general, it's time to make space and clean up. Very basically, clean your house or something. Clean the clutter. Try doing something kind of feng shui. Yeah, I could go into feng shui too. But try to clear out the old, come clean. Basically, come clean with anything that's been bothering you, that you're keeping to yourself. Now's the time to kind of let it out. Clear space, make some clarity basically, and open communication and so on. This moon in Pisces is like everything Pisces, very dreamy, so listen to your dreams. This is also wishes coming true, so look forward to that. Okay, now we'll describe 26 partnerships. This compound number vibrates in a strange way to a unique kind of power based on compassion and unselfishness, with the ability to help others, but not always the self. 26 is full of contradictions. It warns of dangers, disappointments, and failure, especially regarding the ambitions brought about through bad advice, association with others, and unhappy partnerships of all kinds. If 26 is the compound key number of the name, it might be best to change the name to achieve a more fortunate influence. If 26 is the birth number and therefore cannot be altered, the person is counseled to avoid partnerships and pursue the career alone, not heeding even the well-intentioned advice of others, but follow only the personal hunches and intuition, although these should be carefully examined for flaws before acting on them. 26 people should begin at once to stabilize the income, save money, and not behave in an extravagant manner or invest in other people's ideas. Invest in your own future, be generous with others, especially those in need, but also build a solid foundation for the future yourself. And also 26 people need to be aware of the numbers 4 and 8. 2 and 6 reduced down to 8, which is also positive in a sense. It's the infinity. I look at it as the infinity number, and so that's good and solid. And when you make the 8, it's like 2 circles making a whole, so that's a good thing. But it just all depends on how what you can handle. The 4 and 8 has a lot of karma stuff with it. So in Linda Goodman's star sign, she has a whole chapter about 4 and 8. And I'll go over that with you later. But 26 people need to know about the number 8 and the number 4 too. All right, so I have a few different cards here to me that describe, not exactly describe, but they're kind of symbols of partnerships that you may or may not want to be in. Here we have the 7 of Cups. Now, in different decks, there's different symbology, but in my deck, it's kind of interesting. There's a couple here, and it's like one is kind of reading a map. Let's see if you can see this. Anyway, one's reading a map, and one's pointing, hey, let's go that way, and he or she, looks like a he, he's like, let's do this, and she's like, hey, let's go this way. The meaning of it is indulging fantasies, having too many options to choose from. There are all these cups. With so many paths, the task becomes daunting. There are overwhelming desires and unlimited possibilities. This looks like a lot of marriages, you know. If you're a good team, you don't run into too many obstacles. But sometimes, you know, one or the other, you want to do one thing and you want to do something else. And then the obstacles become kind of overwhelming, and it's hard to pick a path that you want to go on. Not saying that you can't work it out. That's what we do. These partnerships that we're in, they're karmic relationships, and you know, we have to work it out. It's kind of our call, you know, what we need to do. Here's another kind of example. And this is the 2 of Swords, so it's a 2. So the 2 of Swords is a stalemate, an impasse. Neither side will compromise, and no progress can be made until one chooses to step ahead. A denial of the truth. So this happens a lot too in your partnerships. You know, 2 opposing points of view, no progress can be made. This happens in government with our 2 opposing parties, you know. It has trouble making compromises. So somebody has to bend, right? Somebody has to give in. And then that always kind of feels, if you're the one that's always giving in, it feels sort of unbalanced and unfair. So that's a type of partnership there that's not a romantic kind of partnership. It's more of a, you know, one of compromise and possible stalemates. The devil also shows a kind of partnership in a sense. It's almost, if you're involved in someone who wants to entrap you, dominate you, you might feel like this, where you have no choices left. You're trapped. You're chained. You're stuck. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. And that's definitely not a kind of partnership that feels comfortable, unless it is something that you've chosen for whole different reasons, for creativity's sake, something in sort of like a role play kind of scenario that you have to work out. But I would say in business, you don't want this, in a partnership and that has to do with business, you really wouldn't want this. It's you need an equality and balance in partnerships, in business especially. In love too would be nice, but sometimes it's interesting because in a twin flame, you have the definitive masculine and definitive feminine. Sometimes it can feel if you are the feminine, sometimes you do feel more submissive, and if you're the masculine, you feel more dominant. But that kind of situation just takes a lot of communication and balance, and if the balance is off in any way, then it starts to feel more like this, she starts to, or this person, the slave, feels more like that. Okay. And then here we have the Hermit. So the Hermit it's a really positive. The Hermit helps people, and the Hermit is separated from the world, but it's not a bad situation necessarily. She's introspective, seeks solitude, withdraws from the world, giving and receiving guidance. And she is an inspirational friend and teacher, and can help illuminate secrets of one's own mind. So if you have a choice between, if you're a number 26, and this is, you might have other numbers in your numerology, in your situation that brings you much fortune, and that the 26 isn't very strong, powerful in your situation, or, ultimately it's all in your perception anyway. But this is a choice that you can make, separate yourself, be a friend and a teacher to people, but don't actually engage in partnerships. Kind of keep to yourself, and it can be fulfilling. And even if you're a hermit, you can still find your twin flame. That's different. That's a whole different situation than partnerships. So in my oracle cards, I didn't have any partnership type things, but I like this card. Is interesting, and this is an example of not a partnership. This is like an opportunity. So the Cernunnos is like a wild man creature of the forest, and this woman, this maiden, is just following her heart, following her gut to go enjoy an experience or some time frolicking, whatever. That's quite different than having a partnership. This is a union. So union's not quite the same as partnership. So don't confuse the two. You're allowed to have fun and enjoy and date and do things with others. But I had the experience of mixing business with love or lust or whatever, and that doesn't work for me, and it might work for some of you, but maybe for the 26 people out there, I don't do that. Don't keep your business separate from your love relationships. That's my advice on that. And then ultimately, as far as the angels are concerned, their best bet is to ask your angel when you need to make decisions. Take a moment and pray and alone time, and let your angel be your partner. Let your angel be your guidance. Let the higher being, let God, whoever you pray to, believe in, have faith in, let them be your guide. And if you're 26, I would say, choose your higher being as your guide over, say, your friend or your business partner or somebody that's in business with you. This would be the more solid advice here. And you can take a retreat in nature and surround yourself with trees and water and whatever, and talk to your angels, and then they'll give you the right direction that you need to go in. And this kind of says the same thing on that. Right here it looks kind of like a partnership, but if you look closely, this is the person and this is their angel, and their angel is guiding them. So when you make a choice, pray on it, meditate on it, ask your angels for advice, and then they will help you. Or ask, anyone that has a spiritual connection between worlds. They can help you. But, you and I don't have a partnership per se, but, you can watch these kinds of readings, and then when you're done with them, then look inside and the truth yourself. Don't go straight and take the advice of tarot reader necessarily. Listen if you want, gather information, and then make your own decision based on your guts, because your gut feeling is better and stronger than anything anybody else can say, especially if you're a 26 person. Okay, and this is what, twin flame union is. This is the twin flame union. This is more than a partnership, it's a oneness, and we like to seek that because it's that kind of union brings a whole different energy to the world. So even if you're 26, you can still find that kind of union. All right, then, that's it for today, or for the number 26. And stay tuned for more pick a card readings and other talks. I will do a little worksheet on how to figure out your compound and your single number. And then you can use that and apply that to these different descriptions that I've been giving. So, faith, trust, pixie dust.